Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello dear students, hope you're all doing well at your home. The first thing which I'm going to mention here that I'm here to you after a long span of time. It's because of this internet gag and discontinuity. Thank God it's resumed. And the second thing that's I'm very much hopeful, I'm cocksure rather, that all of you are getting the advantage of this loss by COVID-19. You're compensating the loss rather. So I'm very much hopeful about this thing by this online lecture series. So today I am here with you people for class 8 particularly to talk on their first chapter number 4th from the component political science that's entitled as this understanding the laws. It is their 4th chapter, that's understanding the laws. So dear students, before this we are going to understand the term, the concept conceptually what the laws are, what's the subject matter of the laws, why laws are compulsory and indispensable for the society. So let me try to define the term here first of all, what the laws are. So dear students, let's have a quick glance at the screen. On the screen, so laws can be very candidly and very simply defined as the rules and the regulations made and enforced by the government that regulates the conduct of a people within the society. So to be very much crystal clear to your mind, so these are the regulations, these are the rulings that's put forth, that is set forth by a government, by an authority to conduct the behavior of a people within a society. So if you talk about a bit historically, in the recent past, we do have here the image on the screen that the person, namely the John Austin. John Austin was an English jurist, expert, political philosopher of the 18th century. He also tries to define the concept law. He defines very simply, in a very simple manner, that these laws are simply the commands of a sovereign who is a person or an institution whose general commands are habitually obeyed by the bulk of a reasonably numerous population. So Austin tries to define these laws, that these are regulations, these are the commands which are presented by the authority, who's every time paramount and a sovereign, and it can be a single person or it can be an institution, like we are having within the present scenario. We are having a parliament to structure or to frame all these laws. So these laws are framed only to maintain the equality, to have the concept of egalitarian society, to maintain the harmony among the societies. So dear students, this is the way we can define the laws. Now the fact of the matter is, why do we need laws? Why there's a need of an R to have a laws for the societies? If the students, if we are having the glance at our society, if we talk about our society, every time we are having these the clashes, the case studies of the clashes among the societies, what we simply call the domestic violence. The domestic violence is that sort of violence that is the society that is dominated by the family, that is dominated by the males, and they are showing their brutality towards the females. So the society, the family that is patriarchal in nature. So that's why they show some sort of cruelty towards the women folks. So where women are ruthlessly beaten, where the rights of the women are annihilated, where they are suppressed and oppressed by the males. So we call them domestic violence. So to end this domestic violence, experts, constitutional experts, and the parliamentarians of the different sons of the soil, they try to frame the laws which we simply call the domestic laws to end this imbalance, to end this oppression and this prejudice. So in the recent past, if we have a quick look to the newspapers or the magazines, there's a new term that's available in the literature that's regarding this domestic violence, what we simply call this rapist husbands. The students, in the recent literature, there's a term that's called rapist husbands. It's almost confusing, it's perplexing. So if we are having the husbands, so why the term is added to it, rapist husbands. So to end this confusion, rapist husbands are those husbands which show show their cruelty towards their wives, which every time show this cruelty, which try to oppress the rights of their wives. That's why they were termed as rapist husbands. It's also a sort of domestic violence. So to having the concept, we are having the
So this is the way that this rapist husband concept or this domestic violence scam came to end by having the different domestic laws. Dear students, let's have a quick look at the screen. Let's see the pathetic and the woeful tale of these women here on the screen, who became the victim of this rapist husband narration and narratives. So this is the way this domestic violence came to end. So now, moving ahead, if we talk about this historical development or historical legacies or trajectories of the framing of the laws, there's a question always that arises: was it every time that the unanimous body, like the parliament, which we have this time, to shape or structure the law, or there was any other institute to frame the law? So every time there might have been the overlapping of the laws in the ancient India and the sort of discontinuity framing the laws. And that discontinuity every time gives the birth, the clash and the tussles. Same is the case if you look here. The Sedition Act was passed in India in 1870. That Sedition Act in 1870, the Sedition Act was passed. 1870. This act was passed by the British government. So the moment this act was passed, this act, the reaction towards this act was very much drastic. It was very much negative, that the people from every corner of India came to protest against this act, and while they called it that's illegal act, that it's illegally passed, that it's discriminatory in nature. It kills the rights, the natural as well as the legal as well as the economic rights of the citizens of the India. So the people showed here, let us look at the screen, people showed the resentment towards this act, and by this resentment you will see the reaction that the hundreds of people got killed, and there was a bloodshed like the situation. Because these laws were not framed unanimously, these sedition acts were not passed unanimously, they were passed by some or any arbitrary body or any individual mind. So to stop all these things, to give birth to the concept what we simply call the rule of law. So the rule of law is the principle that all the people are subject to the acceptable to the law that's fairly applied and enforced by the government of the law. So this rule of law means that the principles that where all the people are equal, there's a concept of egalitarian society where you talk about the social justice, and the rule of law prevails there. Means that every citizen of the country is given equal rights, equal share before the eyes of the law. Everything is shaped there, everything is structured there, everything is streamlined there, everything is framed there, everything is written there. So they are governed as per the rulings, as per the commands, as per the directions of those very laws, and that very thing will give birth to this the harmony within the society and the prosperity as well. Not the way with what we have witnessed in 1870 by the Sedition Act. So dear students, it was a brief introduction about understanding the concept of the laws. Within a coming lecture, I'm going to also talk about this development of the laws and the nature of the framing the laws within the country that's called India. So till then, take care and Allah Hafiz.